Okay, welcome back to Astro Geek Rob. Today we're going to be going over my imaging train. So I've got it in this knockoff Pelican case. It's called an Apache case. You pick these up at Harbor Freight. They work very well. Again, I redid the pluck foam for a custom foam solution, which I'll show you in a second. I got all the items that I needed to put in here, and I gave them to a local company, Packrite, and they cut the foam, high density foam, to house all of my different parts of my imaging train, and they work absolutely fantastic. So thanks to Packrite. So bring you guys closer. Okay, so here's the foam as I was mentioning. I've got a couple things. So the one thing that I have that's not part of my imaging train is my diagonal. It's a 2-inch diagonal. I don't use it all that much, but I have it here just in case I want to break out my eyepieces. I've got a cleaning kit. This came with one of my purchases. I don't remember what, but it's got a little brush, some solution, and a wipe. Just keep that in there. The first part of my imaging train is my focuser itself. So let's see if I can get this out with one hand. There we go. So my focuser, I've got 2 dust caps on here. The first one, I just remove loosening these 2 screws. It's also for a 2-inch intake, which is what I use for my cameras to connect to it. So this comes off. I'm going to leave it on just for the moment. If I had a 1-inch, so if I had, I don't know, a diagonal or a T adapter for a DSLR, I could use that instead. So this focuser is from GSO, as you can see. I'll put the exact make and link to it in the description, as I can't remember the exact name of it. But it's been a very good focuser. It will, I'll show you right here. So here's the actual knob. It's got 2 speeds if you're doing it by hand. It's got the coarse and the fine adjustment. So if you move the coarse, you can see the entire tube, the draw tube, is moving out. When I'm in the field, usually I back this out just about to 1 inch. So it's got inches on the left and centimeters and millimeters on the right. I usually don't use these to note where my focus point is. I'll do that on the ASI error itself. So that's the draw tube and the focusing knob itself. Again, I've got another dust cap on this side. This is where I would connect it up to the telescope. Now, I'm not sure if you can see. We'll try and get it to focus here. If you see, I've got a cable tie on the extension tube. The reason is the extension tube, when you screw it on, there is a gap, and it doesn't go all the way down to the bottom. So the cable tie, specifically the end of the cable tie, will prevent me from inserting it too far into my telescope, so it won't bottom out and hit the focuser. I'll explain this in the video where I connect everything a little better. So we'll just leave this dust cap on. These dust caps, again, I just bought these at, I think, High Point Scientific. They're pretty inexpensive. Okay, so there's a couple knobs on top. I'll be honest, I have no idea what this top knob, this smaller knob does. This larger knob applies tension. So to the draw tube, you want to have it just barely tighten. So just till you feel some resistance, that will allow it, when you are focusing on something or when you have an object up in the sky, that the tube doesn't just slide all the way up. So there's this tube, this knob on the top, and then there's one on the bottom. Again, similarly, you want this will actually allow the gear to be tightened against the draw tube itself. So again, this one you want a little tighter. If this one's loose, then when you turn the knob, or when your focuser, and I will explain this in a second, when your focuser moves back and forth, it won't do anything if it's too loose. So you want to make sure you tighten this. And this wasn't in the instructions at all. I had to figure this out by myself. There's many videos on how to actually attach the autofocuser. I'm not going to detach it today. I just wanted to show you how it's connected in mine. So I've got the connector for the actual tube itself, or for the draw tube. There's a bar that comes out with a notch cut out of it, and then there's these two set screws. So I just tighten this one first, put on the autofocuser, tighten this one, then attach the autofocuser. So my EAF, that's from ZWO. It's their older model. It's USB. I know they've got a Bluetooth one as well. This one works fine for me. I don't mind having the extra cable there, so that's why I still have this one. I've had it for a few years. It works extremely well. Enough about the autofocuser. So I actually have two cameras. So this is my first one. This is the first one that I had, and this is again a ZWO ASI 183MC Pro. The reason I stuck with ASI or with ZWOs is because since I used ASI Air, ZWO accessories tend to work the best with it. It recognizes them the best. I don't have to worry about anything. With this, I do have a attachment. It's actually a dew heater for the camera itself. Not sure if I needed it or not, but I purchased it because it wasn't that expensive, and that goes to this power connector, which when I attach power, I actually have a little Y that will allow me to do power and to the dew. I don't know. That's about all I have to say about that. I've got a dust cover on it. I've got a little extension tube for it as well. On the back of it, I've got the USB hub. USB hub right there. These are both slower USBs. The USB 2.0, as it mentions, 2.0 out. I've got USB 3.0 in with that connector, and then power in. If I were to connect it to the, oops, one second. Just slide it in and tighten it down. And that would be my imaging train. This out of the way. And I use this for public viewing. The reason I use this for public viewing is since this is a one-shot color camera, I can do live stacking and show people nebulas and galaxies and whatever other DSOs I wanted to show them and have it stack on the fly. With my other camera, I have a filter wheel, and while I still could do stacking, I would only be able to do it in one filter, and it wouldn't be able to show them the color of whatever objects that I'm showing them. So that was my 183. My other one is a little more complicated. Let's see if I can get this out with one hand. I might have to use two hands. Excuse me. There we go. All right. So this is my other camera assembly. So the camera itself is an ASI 1600mm Pro. Again, similar configurations, got the 2.0 output hub, 3.0 in, and power. I do not have a dew heater connected to this. It's a little larger camera. I think it's got the same sensor, if I remember correctly, or maybe it's a little better sensor. Someone can correct me in the comments. So yeah, so I have this. This is a monochrome camera, so it only takes pictures in monochrome. But I have it hooked up to my electronic filter wheel, and I've got 8 filters in here. So I've got red, green, blue, and luminosity. I think it goes luminosity, red, green, blue, actually, in that order. Then if I want to take plain color. Then I've got sulfur, hydrogen, and oxygen. I've got those 3 for narrowband. And then I just got a black filter. I might replace that someday in the future with a light pollution filter or something like that. I've got a couple spacers in here, and then I've got my off-axis guider. So as I mentioned in my previous video, is I don't have a separate guide scope attached to my OTA. I've got my off-axis guider. So this has a little prism right here, pointed that way. So the light comes in here, and it just takes a little section of light and bounces it up to here to the sensor on this camera. So this is actually a separate camera. It's my guide camera. The reason I did this is since I've got such a large focal length and I've got such a large imaging train, when I connect everything together, there ends up being flex in it. And the flex is due to the weight of it. Gravity will pull it down, and it will be ever so slightly out of alignment from if I attached a guide scope or a guide camera to the OTA. So everything that I was reading suggested using an off-axis guider. So that's why I went for this route, and it's where it took me a little while to get the spacers set right, because you need to have the distance between the sensor and the basically the focal length both the same. So this distance and that distance needs to be the same. So I got a pair of micrometers, and I measured them, and I got it very similar. Then in the field, I focused it perfectly. So on my off-axis guider, there's not much to it up here, but in here, this is a helical focuser. So basically, you just turn it left and right, and it moves the camera inside and out, or in and out to focus it. But to get it roughly in focus, you just take these 2 screws, you loosen them, and you slide the whole camera inside or in or out to get the stars roughly in focus, which they should be now. And then you can dial this in and out, and it should be set pretty close to 3, which is the halfway point to start with. But yes, this is also in monochrome. It's an ASI 220 Mini. I upgraded it. I think I had a 120 Mini to start with, but this has a larger sensor. And that's got a USB C connector. It's also got an RJ6, I think it is. But I use the USB-C to connect to the ASI air. And if I were to connect this thing, again, it's very similar. So I'll remove both dust caps. Connect it up. Tighten it down. Now, this is my imaging train that I do when I'm doing actual imaging out in the field. Okay, so the one thing I failed to mention on my focuser is that there is a USB connection on there as well. It's the traditional USB like you'd have to a printer or whatever, so I have a cable for that. When I have this connected, I do keep cables in here, and there's two cables. I'm not going to take them out, but basically they go from the hub. One of them goes to my focuser, and one of them goes to my guide scope. All right, so this is a short video. I just wanted to show you guys everything that I had from imaging train. I'll go over it a little more detail when we set it up in the field and how I actually set things up, which will be a couple videos later. So until that time, clear skies, and thanks for watching. And hit that subscribe and like button, and I'll see you guys next time.